Alabama wins last night in an arena that I'm told by Greg Bernigan yesterday that that's if we ever build one, it's going to look a lot like the one in Oxford.
Yeah,
right?
I think they like the way the pavilion is set up. Yeah.
I don't.
You don't?
I don't. And I don't know if it's because the broadcast always sucks from there and it makes me dislike that arena. If it's because Ole Miss basketball isn't always well attended, like it wasn't last night, which makes me dislike that arena. Maybe it's just the Ole Miss product, which makes me dislike that arena. Maybe it's the camera angle. Maybe it's the technology.
I think it looks pretty good on TV.
The Ole Miss product, Lance, under Kermit Davis was kind of boring.
But it was awful.
Yeah, but under Chris Beard, I don't think it's going to be that bad.
Yeah, they've lost, what, 6 of 7? Is that what they've lost?
Yeah, they've lost 6 of 7. They had a 15-point lead, and they lose by 15.
I said I don't think it's going to be that bad.
No, not right now.
Yeah. I saw you bitching about it on Twitter, but we were at Odie's, so we did not have sound up. You were saying it sounded like the announcers weren't there?
No, the announcers sounded fine. The crowd sounded like they were playing a game. It really, what it sounded like the Conference USA tournament back when they had the split screens. And like there was a game going on the other side of the gym or across the street in another arena, and the crowd sounded muffled. Like a muffled sounding crowd all night long.
I did notice a lot of empty seats, though, behind the benches there. The fans did not turn out for that game.
Which made me wonder, were they pumping in crowd noise? Because that
seems like a lot of effort for Ole Miss.
Lance,
That's what it sounded like they were pumping in some muffled, crappy crowd noise that they had recorded on a handheld phone or something and were playing it over there to make it sound like it had some folks in there. But I think you guys would agree with me. Not the announcers. The announcers were fine.
That's why I was trying to clarify. I just didn't know what you were saying.
The crowd sounded like they were next door or muffled or something.
Well, NH3425 agrees with you. He says sound muffled, weird noise on TV for the Bama game. JT83 says acoustics in there are bad, Jim, so I guess he's been there. Chase says, I went a few years ago to Auburn at Ole Miss. The arena was pretty nice. A lot of SEC ESPN needs to step up their production quality. Now, that is I guess on those games, it is still the school production, right?
It is the school production.
Yeah, ESPN's not sending their trucks anymore. It's school production.
So Alabama and Auburn do a really good job of their production, and Ole Miss's broadcasting department needs to crank up.
I guess.
Spend some money on some microphones.
I reckon.
Yeah, get it from Jackson Dart, man. Get some microphones from Jackson Dart's NIL or something.
Can you tell me, because I had Ole Miss plus 5.5, I thought you were going to see Alabama, a really good defensive effort, and Ole Miss ends up getting some garbage baskets late. And they get 88 points.
So you took Ole Miss plus 5.5 in that one, okay?
Yeah, I felt like Ole Miss.
My gut feeling when I was talking to you yesterday, when that number came out, 5.5, and
it was surprised.
Didn't it trickle to 6? I thought maybe you were telling me that Alabama was gonna boat race them.
No, I ended up playing Tennessee and ended up playing Ole Miss, and I just thought Ole Miss would keep this a lot tighter, but Davin Cosby.
I mean, what in the world?
I didn't see this. Normally when you get a true freshman off the bench, they're coming in to give you some quality minutes and contribute.
Hey, don't shoot, Davin. You go in there, man, unless it is a wide open shot.
Hey, and by the way, usually not at the end of February. Not on February 28th do you see a guy coming off getting his most meaningful playing time ever.
Well, yeah, that was his most minutes since pre-Christmas.
I mean,
so it's been forever in a critical game that Alabama absolutely had to have, and that guy was – he had no conscience at all.
You think 10 attempted threes in 13 minutes of play is a lot, Lance?
It's amazing.
I mean, he played 13 minutes and took 10 threes. That's more than
it was almost like he was getting paid per shot.
I know. That's more than Lunsford shot.
Here's the deal. As you watch the game, he also was 1 of 4 to start with. So he missed 3 of 4 if you do the other side of that and still had the guts to keep shooting.
You got to love his confidence. I mean, and look, I don't know if you'll ever get that again from Cosby this year, but if you can get him to have 1 or 2 key baskets and then you get Wrightsell back, you've got a lot of scores there. Still don't think this Alabama defense is any good. We'll see what happens Saturday in Coleman. I know they're a completely different team in Coleman, but boy, this is going to be an exciting game. I got a text from a buddy that lives in Denver, and he's like, man, I cannot wait for that game Saturday.
Yeah, Bama and Tennessee on Saturday, but more on what happened last night. 103-88, Alabama wins it over Ole Miss, and Davin Cosby, as these guys brought up, was one of the stories. 5 of 10 for three-point range. That's all his points, 15. I don't know how good his handle is, but he handled the pressure okay on the road. Here is Nate Oats.
This kid's always had a good attitude. He's worked really hard, and he's never lost confidence. And I've told him that. It's hard to do when you're not playing minutes. And we've told him he's got to get better on defense. And his shot selection had been a little suspect at times. That's why his percentages weren't as high as they should be, because he's actually a very good shooter. But, he had to learn how to take good shots. I thought he took 10 really good shots tonight. For a kid that has gone multiple games and not played at all, he's never lost his confidence. It says a lot about who he is as a person, his internal character, his work ethic. He stays in the gym and works, expecting to get a chance. And we needed him. I mean, if you're going to win a league championship, these are the games you're going to have to win on the road. And we don't have them tonight. We don't win this game.
Yeah, and it was a slow start. And to his point there, no Wrightsell. So it wasn't like he was coming in and playing, like you'll get Leor Berman at Auburn. Some nights he'll play double-digit minutes. Some nights he'll play 6 minutes. Some nights he'll play 18 minutes. So he's in and out of a lot of playing time, but you're getting a few minutes on the court every night. This kid went a long time without ever seeing the court. He was down there with all the walk-on guys shooting bows and arrows after threes and throwing up three goggles. He was one of those guys.
Well, look, you get your opportunity in key minutes and you make those shots. He could have shot himself probably out of minutes, but he shot himself into it. And you mentioned he started 1 of 4, ends up 5 of 10. Those were big baskets from Cosby down the stretch. And, this kind of overshadows what Estrada did last night with a triple-double.
I know. That's hard to overshadow that, isn't it?
Yeah.
But, those 5 out of 10 from beyond the arc will do it.
Only the 4th triple-double in Alabama basketball history for Aaron Estrada last night.
That's hard to believe. I would have think Robert Horry and Derek McKee would have had a few triple-doubles.
Or if you go back to Reginald King and T.R. Dunn and some of those guys, maybe a Hollywood Robinson if he got a rebound or something to bounce his way. But Estrada joins 2 from Roy Rogers.
I was going to say Roy Rogers had to be in the discussion.
Yeah, just because of those crazy-ass blocks.
Yeah, points and rebounds.
The first 2.
Roy Rogers was hell in the NIT.
So they did.
They had no triple-double
until Roy Rogers.
Before Roy Rogers.
How about that?
Kyra Lewis. And now Aaron Estrada.
That blows me away that Derek McKee and Robert Horry, with how balanced their games were, never had triple-doubles.
Wimp throttled
Well, I
him.
guess Derek McKee was ineligible a lot, right?
Yeah, Wimp throttled him, man. He wouldn't let him shoot.
18, 10, and 10.
Yeah, Brody's
points.
right. Herb Jones seems like he would have been one of those guys,
heck
too.
Yeah.
18 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists is the assist number, gets him to the triple-double. And Zach says Estrada tried to get Cosby another garbage time basket with like 5 seconds left. They did go over 100 again. But the amazing stat
Estrada didn't realize he had 10 assists.
He was trying to get one more.
Yeah, I need that triple-double.
Yeah. The amazing stat, though, is Alabama has now scored 90-plus points in 5 straight SEC games. Last time that happened, Arkansas, 1994.
I was going to ask what the line to beat for best offense in SEC basketball history is. That's got to be one of them right there. Mm-hmm. The old Nolan Richardson 40-minute of hell offense and defense.
They've done the 100-point total that has reached that great Kentucky team back then, national champion.
96.
And now 90-plus in 5 straight SEC games with that great Arkansas team back there. The difference in both of those and this Alabama team is that Arkansas team, was it known for its scoring or known for what?
Defense. 40 minutes of hell.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's a different style.
Yeah, and this Alabama team, as dynamic as they are offensively, as many scores as they've got, I just don't see a deep run based on the defense.
Okay, well, let's answer this question then, because it came in early, so I'm going to dig back. Jason says, it's amazing how Auburn gives up 90, and Dunaway, you say, wow, that felt like a Final Four team. Bama scores over 100 again, and the story is, wow, their defense sucks.
Yeah. No, I thought Alabama's defensive effort was much better last night.
Yeah, but I mean, what's the expectation? There's 2 completely different teams. You're on the road in Knoxville. You're on the road in Oxford.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, those are night and day teams.
One team has lost 6 of 7. The other's the number 4 rated team in the country.
Yeah, the other is won 11 of 13, and they look like a Final Four team.
Well, I'm just saying, I think
deep.
Auburn's defense is number 6 in Ken Palm. I mean, that's one reason that you look at last night, and it feels like a little bit more of an outlier for Auburn than normal. Alabama's defense is 99th in Ken Palm. You look at last night, and you're like, it's kind of who their defense is.
No, I didn't say anything about the defense in this opening segment here today, because I watched last night and thought to myself, if you can get that kind of defensive effort from Alabama moving forward, you're going to win a lot of basketball games. I thought that effort was a lot better than at Kentucky. Now, it was against a lesser team than what Kentucky was at Rupp, and you play a better team in Tennessee coming up this weekend. But I thought the guys put forth great effort last night defensively. Still gave up 88 points, but I thought they played a lot better defensively last night. The problem is They got into a horrible situation, foul trouble last night.
Oh, yeah, they did. Ryland Griffin fouled out. Grant Nelson fouled out.
Yeah, and there were a lot of people playing with fouls, so they were more aggressive defensively, which you've got to be. But they also did that with some fouls. And Grant Nelson did not have his he still had 10, but he did not have his best game. And he also cost me a few $100s at mybookie.ag by not getting to 13 points.
What did he got? Got the box
He had 10.
record. What did he get? He had 10,
He
so
had
all
10.
he needed to hit was 1-3, huh? And he fouled out.
He had
You know,
10.
you can't bet those props in Ohio anymore.
Dunaway fouled him right out.
Can't bet those college player props in Ohio.
Yeah, they have banned player props.
Yeah,
So stupid.
So I mean everything going in, man, and I'm ching $10 into 240. Just needed another 3 from Grant Nelson. 12.5 was a precarious number for Grant last night.
Clearly Vegas knew he was going to foul out.